start with an opening statement from Coach and then open up to questions.
Certainly pleased with the win tonight. I thought our guys in the first half played really, really well on both ends. Stony Brook was making some tough mid-range shots, which we knew they were going to try to get to a lot. Our guys, I thought, did a good job contesting, and we just talked about staying the course with that. And offensively, that's the best half of offense we've played. And if I remember correctly, I believe we had 10 threes in the first half, and usually your offense looks pretty good when you hit 10 threes. Second half, they give Stony Brook a lot of credit, the way that they battled back. They got going from the three-point line, which hurt us on the defensive end. And then we were able to just make enough plays down the stretch. Two big ones by Anders when we needed to, and got enough stops to get out here with a win. But a ton of credit to Stony Brook, and certainly more important than anything, the game is thinking about Tyler Stevenson more and hoping that everything is okay there, because it didn't look great when he went down. So I'm hoping he's going to be okay.
Coach, even before the injury, but even also afterward, it felt like there wasn't a lot of flow to this game, especially in the second half. And then obviously that 15-minute break, and all of a sudden you're right back playing again. What was kind of that adjustment like, and how did you feel you guys played down the stretch with that?
Yeah, the second half, there were a lot more whistles at the start of the second half, and Andres got his third foul pretty quickly. Ben got his third foul, and then his fourth. And so you're right, there just wasn't as much of a flow, and we just were trying to get into a little bit of rhythm, and it was tough to do. And then, because Stony Brook hit some threes in some big spots, and it was like we'd make a play, but then we couldn't get to stop the foul, I felt like. And then, the last 6.5 minutes after the injury, we just gathered and said we got to focus in now and finish the game the right way. And again, Stony Brook, give them a lot of credit. They made a bunch of shots, made some tough plays, and then we were able to just do enough down the stretch to come away with the win.
You had, after that, when points were at a premium, you got into the paint twice. Kind of talk about what you had to do there, and how it's not easy for a guy who's 6 feet going against some guys who are taller. Just talk about what you're doing there.
Yeah, right. At the end of the game there, Stony Brook, they like to pack their defense in. And we were just talking all day about how we wanted to move the ball, get multiple ball reversals, have everybody touch the ball. And then at the end of the possession, we could get a paint touch and just create from there. So when the ball came back to me, with 10 seconds left on the shot clock, we're moving it well. I just kind of put my head down, got into the lane, and looked to make a play. And luckily I had somewhat of a smaller defender on me down there too, so I could get to my turnaround, and felt great to hit a couple down there in the paint at the end. But I think those two shots, and really pretty much all of them I hit tonight, were a result of my teammates just moving the ball so well. And like Coach touched on, I think we moved the ball probably the best we have all year tonight.
Can you talk about a little bit of, you guys got off to such a torrid start. I think it was like 10 or 12, I think, from three, first half, and just hitting everything. It just, those things don't happen often. What was that like to go through, and to keep, how hard is it to keep something like that going? It's not going to last forever.
Yeah, right. I mean, basketball is a game of runs, right? So teams get hot, teams get cold. That's just kind of how it goes. But, coming out and hitting your first, I don't know what it was, maybe 6 or 7, it's obviously a pretty good feeling. It's exciting, especially when everybody's getting involved. I think that's probably when it's most fun. But, you kind of come back to earth after you start so hot. Granted, we shot the three really well all night. Like I said, basketball is kind of a game of numbers, so yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of that, like you said, 10 or 12 in the first half. Still shot the ball well in the second half, but from the three-point line, only took 4 of those. Is that kind of more of a
result of Stony Brook adjusting at the half, or then kind of readjusting, that sort of thing?
Yeah.
You were out there
Yeah, I
playing?
guess I was playing. Yeah, I mean, you know, I think we got some pretty good looks in the second half. I think they did a pretty good job rotating as well. You know, we were able to get some paint touches, but I think they did a pretty good job of taking away our penetration and then rotating out of that when we looked to kick it out for three. Luckily, we were still able to hit a couple big ones. It was great to see Jake Milkwright hit a couple tonight. Obviously, Gabe Dorsey hit a big one at the end there. They came back and responded. But yeah, you know, like I said, you might hit 10 threes in the first half, come back in the second half. Obviously, I think they made some adjustments to try and take probably Gabe and I off the three-point line a little bit more. But, you know, we were able to get the job done, so.
Dane, from a coach's perspective, to look at Nelson's line, he missed one shot. And it was a free throw. Only 2 turnovers were charges, I'm pretty sure. Was this pretty? I mean, can you talk about how solid a game this is for a point guard, for any point guard?
Yeah, so I'll give him a hard time about the missed free throw, but if he wants to go for 27 on 8 shots with 4 assists and 2 turnovers the rest of the year, I'll take it. You know, he was great tonight, and I think that, you know, Andres touched on it earlier. So many of his plays early on was a result of us moving the ball, and the ball just kept going side to side, and there were so many times it would get kicked out to a guy who's a better driver that would just go hit the paint again, and it just kept finding Anders and Gabe in the first half. And when you have when you're in a rhythm like Anders was tonight, that's why you can go make those 2 tough plays down the stretch and make it with a ton of confidence, which he obviously did. So no, this was a phenomenal offensive performance by him, and like I said, I think it's a result of our team playing the right way tonight, and it was his night to have some shots at the end of the clock.